Okay, Team Takeover, Makeover, or Makeover Takeover. This is cut 2. I am still battling a cold that I had last week, and it's like causing migraines and really bad coughing fits. And I started the last video, and I was on a roll, and bam, like 30 seconds into it, I start coughing, and I can't see it. Like, oh my gosh. Anyway, I have done nothing. It's Saturday, so I've done nothing. There's no makeup on. My hair's a mess. It's all good. I've been watching beauty tutorials on YouTube all day long and last night. This video is for you all. This is at the request of Jennifer Sasser, our awesome leader, because she's known me for a while, and she's been wanting me to share my story over the last couple of years with you all. You're going to take from it what it is that you want to take from it. My preferred method of communication on the internet is video. I figure this is the best way. Hopefully you watch it all the way through. It could end up being like a 16-minute video. I don't know. My videos are usually pretty long. But anyway, here's the story. Back about 3 years ago, I was working, and I was very, very unhappy. I was getting to the point where I was literally coming home every day from work in tears, in pain, a lot of pain. My whole entire life has been in the restaurant industry, or service industry, however you want to call it or say it, but either waitressing, bartending, washing dishes, cooking, managing a restaurant, whatever. Constant, non-stop physical abuse on the body. My last job happened to be a deli position in a very popular grocery chain here in the Southeast. Absolutely the worst job I've ever had, and was definitely way too old for it. And I could go on and on. But what I want to say about what was happening to my mind at the time is not only was I physically taking a toll on me, and I was no longer enjoying my work. I mean, I enjoy service, and I was able to separate myself from the hate of my job for the customer and focus and enjoy that interaction. But I was embarrassed to go to work there. I was embarrassed to leave there. I was embarrassed when I picked up my check. I got to the point where when I looked at my check, I cried. Every time I came home from work, it just got so bad. It got really, really bad, guys. And I know that every one of you have experienced that on some level, even if it wasn't all the time. Even if it's just once in a while where you say, oh my gosh, I hate my job. I couldn't do it anymore. There was no way I could do it anymore. And I don't regret making this decision, and I gave my 2 weeks notice. And I had all sorts of plans. I was in a video marketing MLM, and that I absolutely adored that. And I also had some really big dreams about organic gardening. And so my daughter and I decided that I was going to work my video marketing MLM, and we were going to start our own business we called it Nana's Garden, and we were going to help people plant edible gardens in their yard somewhere, or convert their entire landscape to edible landscape. And that was our thing. We went and got, horticultural certification, and we ended up purchasing a couple of accounts from the people that taught us that, they were low or no chemical accounts, gardening accounts where we could, make some money as we went. And of course I let it, it didn't work out. It did not work out, and this is why I didn't have the capital to uphold a brick and mortar business at all. It cost me a few $1,000s to get going with it, and it just, when clients stop paying or don't pay or things happen, I was not prepared. And I'm kind of like, at this point, I'm totally like, brick and mortar's crazy. But anyway, so I went on, and eventually the bills start getting really far behind, and I had my car repoed, and okay, that was what it was. I had the truck for the that was good. Eventually it just got so bad that I was really far behind in my electric and my water, and so the first thing that went off was electric. And it was just after I joined a new company. It was literally days after I joined, and just before, I think I joined like on a Monday, and on a Friday I was driving to Atlanta to go to my first event, and on Thursday the lights went out. At that time, it was just me, my daughter, and I, her boyfriend, and we just, just didn't have it to pay the bill. And so I said, well, we're going to focus. And this is what happened. For about a year, we did not have electric or running water. And let me tell you something, that shit is challenging. You may have dreams of going off the grid, but if you're not prepared to be off the grid, or you live in an area where being off the grid like that isn't necessarily, I'm just saying, I mean, if I had solar panels on my roof and a well in my backyard, it would have been nothing to me. But it was very hard. And I was working completely 100% on the internet, tried to get a couple of jobs, was completely unemployable, was either fired or never called back, no matter how hard I worked. I mean, I'm a phenomenal worker. I love that about myself, but people could see something. People pick up the vibe on that. They either know that you're going to be totally no bullshit, and the minute they give you bullshit, you're out, and so they can't rely on you, or whatever. I'm not sure what it is. I do know one job was, I went to get a waitressing job just a couple of days a week, something just right, just to keep the edge off, make sure we were eating, because we were hungry a lot. And that day, my very first day, the lady was like, "Holy moly, you're awesome!" And sure enough, it was the middle of the winter in Florida, and I know we don't get as cold as some of you ladies are experiencing right now, but when we do, we do, and when it rains, it pours. And the first day at that job, it was time to leave, and it was pouring cats and dogs. Pouring cats and dogs. And I lived about 3.5 miles away from the place of work. And it was time for me to go. And I just looked outside, and I didn't say nothing. I didn't flinch about it. And I just got my backpack on, or whatever I had, and out the door I went. And when I looked back at the restaurant, I saw everyone in the window looking like, holy shit, she's walking home in the rain. Whatever that did to them, they couldn't handle seeing that. But the juice of the story is what I did to keep going, to make this happen for me. I have the vision and the belief in this industry to make it happen. So what I did was, my mother was a cab driver at the time, so every morning at about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, she would pick me up, drive me a town south to a library that was open 70 hours a week. And I went every single day they were opened, from the time they opened until the time they closed. Almost a year. Most people thought I was homeless. They didn't know most people just didn't. And I'd bring my laptop, and I'd plug it in and use the Wi-Fi and sit there and work on the internet all day long. I was in a business where there were parties required, so I obviously couldn't have people at my house. I couldn't turn on the blender. It was very hard to keep a house clean when there's no running water, so it was a lot of sweeping, and so there was no way I could fake it and have people at the house for a challenge party. And so what I used to do is the shaker cup party in the park, and I'd say challenge party in the park, and I'd go down to this really beautiful park in the town south of me in Tarpon Springs, Craig Park, beautiful place. And I would have a challenge party there. I did everything I could, and the one thing I knew, no matter how hard it was, how difficult it was, there was a couple of things that I guess I'm trying to portray or express to you all. If you want it, nothing will stop you. You will jump through hoops, and you will have no doubts. And no matter how hard it gets, you'll keep pushing. If you don't want it, you're going to find an excuse. MLM is not overnight. That's another thing. It's work. It's not a job, but it's work. And you will achieve results faster financially than any other business that you could enter into. For instance, the one I was in before, that I was going to work for, I had worked for them for 3 years, and I still hadn't even come up to the base level pay that I would only accept any place else I worked. But I got stuck in that job. Okay? So, if you want it, you'll make it happen. If you don't have money, that's not a reason not to push. You have to find a way to use what you have so you can get some more, so that you can use more to get some more, so that you can get to where you want to be. Okay? Sometimes making sacrifices that most people wouldn't is the one thing that's going to separate yourself from the pack. Now, people did not know, outside of my sponsor, and Jennifer knew, that I was living in that kind of situation, that life was that hard. And I mean, my one neighbor, she'd walk over every morning with hot water so I could make instant coffee, because man, the coffee changed the attitude for the day, because it's very hard to stay upbeat, especially when people are noticing that you're going through a hard time. And what I was experiencing here was people were upset with my poverty, and they became very attacking. Like, they would start being really fucked up, like weird stuff that you would never expect and they would never do otherwise. You know, when I was busting my ass going to work at a job I hated, not even coming close to making enough money, borrowing a week or two's paycheck from the local cashing place, they had no problem with whatever went on then. But as soon as they saw that I was busting my butt, no matter what, and when my mom couldn't bring me to Tarpon Springs Library, I put my laptop on and I went down to the library closer to me, even though it was only open a little bit. I busted my butt. If you want it, you can make it. If you don't, you're going to make an excuse. So when I hear excuses, I know what that means. It means you don't really want it. Nothing can get in the way of you and your dreams. Nothing can stop you. Not nothing in the world, unless you allow it to be everything. I believe in every one of you in this group. I know that every one of you can take the time to learn, succeed, and pass it on. It's learn, implement, pass it on. Learn, implement, pass it on. If you are following your passion and you truly want to leave that job, or whatever it is, or replace, $300 or $500 or $600 a month to help take the edge off, so you don't have to go to the cash place or something like that. Whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, if you really, really believe in it, nothing can get in your way. It may take a while, but I'm telling you right now, it's just like digging for the gold. If you stop just before you hit the vein, you're not going to hit the gold. So you have to constantly, consistently boost yourself, build yourself, focus on your personal development, be the person that you want to be, and be the person you want to be always. Lead with yourself. And no matter what business you come into or what business you explore, you're going to be a success, because people are going to want to be around you. People are going to want to learn from you, and people are going to learn from you, and you're going to help them make money. So I guess that's the story that Jennifer wanted me to tell you. It took about a year before everything came around, and just weird little miracle things happened, and things just starting falling into place, and all the struggle turned into, you remember back then? We literally, there were times where the only thing we could afford for dinner was a bag of $2 cheese puffs from the dollar store. It's craziness. We're not rich yet, but as you can see, I'm in my house. I'm not at the library. The lights are on. I can go take a shower. I can drink a glass of water. I don't have to, it's so much easier. So, appreciate what you have and work with it. If you're looking to replace your income and you have a job right now, start thinking smart about that money that you do make at work. Get your bills paid, but pay yourself first, and use that money to invest in anything that will help you increase the effectiveness of your business marketing skills. Get a coach, hire a coach, paid advertising, whatever it is you can do with whatever it is you get. So if you have $25 left over every week after your paycheck, that's $100 a month. You can convert that $100 a month into something that's going to help you become a more affluent and more effective marketer and business person. And eventually, you'll be able to tell that job to take it and shove it. I don't suggest that I don't regret what I did, I knew that it was me, and I paid the price, and it was worth it. I would rather live without electricity or running water than work at that job all day long. And I love what I do. I love marketing. I love network marketing. I love MLM. I love helping other people break their chains and learn how to be free and understand what it is. I mean, this is the best. And helping people look pretty is pretty cool too. And I'm sorry I didn't put makeup on for you guys, but I wanted to be raw because it's kind of a raw story. If you have any questions or anything like that you guys want to ask me, you know, shoot me a message or whatever. And I love you all. And just keep pushing. You guys are really amazing. You're doing an amazing job. And every time I look at my back office and every time I look at the team, there's new people coming in. There's new people hitting ranks, and I'm really excited about that. So I love you all. Peace.